Magandang hapon ka, Vibal. Isang special na FB Live Learning Session ang handog ng Vibal Group sa inyo ngayong araw. Kasama natin ang vlogger na si Miss Margo Kamaya. Kaya ano pang hinihintay natin? Let us all welcome Miss Margo Kamaya.
Hey, maraming salamat, Tope, for the introduction. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon, everyone. At dahil nasa Cebu ako, maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. Okay. So, first off, I'd like to thank our friends from the Vibal Group for inviting me this afternoon to conduct this special FB Live session. And it's all about book vlogging. So sa inyo po, baka kung may mga nagtatanong, ano bang ibig sabihin ng book vlogging? No? Ano bang vlogging? Ano ang kaibahan ng vlogging sa blogging? So mamaya po, sasagutin po natin yan. Bago sa lahat, I'd like to introduce myself. I will share my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay. So for today's session po, we will call it the art of book vlogging. Okay. So let me introduce myself. My name is Margo Kamaya. Okay. For the past 18 years, I've been working in the call center industry, particularly the BPO, the business process outsourcing. Out of that 18 years, I have been a trainer for 17 years of that 18 years. So I'm very privileged to be in this session kasi alam ko karamihan po sa ating mga nanonood, sa ating mga viewers are teachers and educators. So that was something when I was younger, I always wanted to be a teacher rin when I grew up. Medyo na lihis lang ng landas na instead of teaching in a school, I'm teaching or training people in the corporate side. So yun. So, yan yung primary work ko. I work in a call center. And on the side, as we all know, especially for the past year and a half, we have faced a lot of challenges and struggles because of the world, what's happening in the world. So one of the things that I started off is to create a particular hobby. And that hobby is vlogging. Right? But before vlogging po, I actually have a website or a blog. I started writing. So I signed up for a free blog in Google. And that website is called thevisualtraveler.net. Okay. So nag-start po ako niyan in 2015. And when I started in 2015, I joined a local organization here in Cebu. It's called the Cebu Bloggers Society. So that's where I learned how to write, to blog, and also to network with other bloggers, Cebuano bloggers, and even other bloggers from different cities and provinces here in the Philippines. And then, so I started that in 2015. And then early last year, just before the pandemic hit and we were all quarantined, I started reviewing. Sabi ko, medyo nawalan ako ng inspiration to write. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Baka siguro nga ako with all the stress and the challenges. And I said, baka mas madaling magsalita na lang, to share my stories via video. So I went back and reviewed. Sabi ko, meron pala akong YouTube channel, youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. Gamitin ko kaya to reach out to people. And that's where and when I started dedicating most of my free time to create videos and upload it in YouTube. Okay. So that's my short history of how I became a blogger as well as a vlogger. Okay. So sa hindi ho ako millennial. Kaya medyo seryoso ang dating ng aking mga videos sa YouTube. Pero the reason why I also focus on creating videos for books, particularly Filipiniana books, is that I realized that our Philippine or our book industry is very rich, no? And I think it is about time for us to really promote it, no? Not just locally, but also internationally. Okay. So how did I start becoming interested or passionate about books? So I started very young. I'm very lucky that I grew up in a household that treasured books, that put a lot of emphasis on reading and learning through, through books, newspapers, magazines, anything that's a reading material. So my parents po, particularly my dad, would buy us books, no, and it started my passion or interest in collecting books. One of my biggest books or book collection na I started in college is the Reader's Digest. So kung makikita ho nyo yung letrato ko na pinapakita on the lower right hand side, no? Ito ho yung sample ng Reader's Digest condensed. So ito available pa to if you go to book sale. You can buy it second-hand. And maganda siya, no? Kung kung makikita niyo sa mga palabas, it's a favorite item or device of interior designers kasi it's very cheap because it's second-hand, hardbound pa siya. So maganda siyang pang-display. Okay? But for me, it invokes a different type of emotional feeling. So that's how I really started my book collecting. It's one of my biggest collections of books. Kumbaga ho, halo 80% of the books that Reader's Digest published, condensed, no, published from the 50s until the 90s, I have that. It's a very big collection. Siguro nasa mga 80 volumes ang meron ako. And I bought that on a college student's allowance. Minsan hindi ako kumakain o kaya nag-create ho ako ng parang small business, no, nung college para whatever I earned, I would buy this Reader's Digest books, no, and to add it to my collection. Okay. And then mga 2 years ago, in 2019, actually before pa niyan, in 2017, no, just to share with you all. So when I'm still writing for my blog, I post mostly about Philippine history, Philippine culture, Philippine society. So there was one article that I was planning to write about, no, and that particular article was all about Damian Domingo. So, yung sa mga hindi po nakakakilala kung sino po si Damian Domingo is considered the first Filipino known artist, no? That was born in the 19th century. So when I was researching po, nag-google ako, google.com, sabi ko, Damian Domingo, saan kaya ako makakakuha ng materials? Kasi considering na hindi siya na-mention sa mga existing na history books. So yung nag-Google search po ako, yung unang lumabas was Vibal. Hindi ako nagloloko. Vibal po yung unang lumabas. At that time, they launched the Damian Domingo book written by Luciano P.R. Santiago. So when I wrote this was in October 27, sabi ko, sige, I'll try to search for it. So I went to a local bookstore po, national bookstore. I tried to search for it. Nakakita ko ng kopya. Pero yung kopya po is very expensive. Sabi ko, magkano yun? Nakita ko yung price, 2,900. Sabi ko, nako, medyo mahal pa siya. Ay, kasi maganda siya, hardbound, malaki, maraming illustrations. Ako po, mahilig kasi ako sa mga books na may illustrations, lalo na pag history or non-fiction. So sabi ko, sige, pag-iipunan ko to, babalikan kita. So after a few months, I posted it in my blog na the story about Damian Domingo. I gathered it from other sources, very minimal lang information. Na nung nakaipon na ako, I went back to National Bookstore and this is my first Vibal Foundation book that I bought. No? And this started off my Filipiniana book collection craze. hindi ako nagbibiro, pero this one really triggered it, no? My Filipiniana book collection. So this is the Damian Domingo book. I hope you can see it. Okay. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments po, just place it on the comment section, and our friend Tupe from Vibal group will have a short Q&A session at the end of the learning session, and will answer your questions. Okay. So this is what the Damian Domingo book is. Right? Medyo mahal siya, no? 2,900. So this was I bought this in 2018. So medyo mahal siya. It's a good thing that I think in 2019, late 2019 or 2020, Vibal came out with the 50 Shades of Philippine Art version of the Damian Domingo. So ito po mura to talaga, very affordable. Kasi if I remember it correctly, I bought it around 550 pesos. So mga nasa 550 pesos siya. So it's very affordable if you want to start off your own Filipiniana collection. I would suggest this, no? Very nice po siya. Same thing, the impact, the information is all the same. Glossy yung paper. Para na rin ako nagbo-book vlog ngayon, no? But ito po siya, no? So, ito yung inspiration ko. So, that triggered my collection and collecting. So, I have a lot of Vibal Foundation books. And from that, doon ako nakakuha ng idea na sige, i-share ko to. Kasi nung nagsusearch ako sa YouTube, sabi ko, walang masyadong mga videos, no, about Philippine history books. Maraming videos about Philippine history, pero wala yung books talaga. Mostly, pag tinitingnan nyo, pag i-search nyo, Filipino BookTuber or Filipino books, ang lumalabas are the millennials, no, the younger generation, talking about young adult books, no, or fantasy books, horror books, mostly fiction books. And I said, magandang avenue ito, no, to promote Filipiniana books. And when we say Filipiniana, how do we define the word Filipiniana? So, when we say Filipiniana, general lang po na description is anything that's written by a Filipino, right? A Filipino writer, something written about the Philippines, okay? About Philippine history, culture, society, and then it can also be under the definition of Filipiniana is also published by a Filipino publishing company. So that's a very broad definition of Filipiniana. So whether it is fiction or non-fiction, as long as it's written by a Filipino, about a Filipino or the Philippines, right? Or it's published by a Philippine company, a publishing company, can be classified as Filipiniana. Sa akin naman po, as a reading advocate, because I consider myself as a reading advocate, it doesn't really matter kung anong klaseng books ang binabasa natin. Whether it's in Filipino, it's in Tagalog, in Kapampangan, Chabacano, Bicolano, or English, right? It doesn't matter, even if it's in a comic version, because the important thing is people are reading. That's where learning starts po, no? As teachers and educators, we always put emphasis on to our students to read and read and read. Newspapers, magazines, kahit those information can be found online. Very important that young people start reading, right? Very important yon. So ako po kahit ano, right? As long as you're reading, I'm very happy about that because that's my advocacy. Okay? But since last year and this year, my second advocacy is to focus on, again, no, Filipino books. Okay? So these are some lang of the books that I have. And I said nga when I was looking at my collection, sabi ko, sige, I want to share this, no? Sige lang, okay lang, pupursigihin ko to kahit walang nanonood. Kahit maliit lang yung viewership, ang importante is I create those videos kahit pa paano, may isa, may dalawa, may tatlong nanonood, they learn from it, they share it, right? Tapos, meron silang parang knowledge, no? Knowledge for of the day. So that's one of the things na I also would like to inspire everyone po, no? Na when you create a book vlog, so a book vlog or a vlog particularly is a video, right? It's an audio visual tool. That's one thing that we can consider it as teachers and educators. It's a video that you can upload in a social media platform, right? And that's where we encourage people, no? That's where you promote your advocacy. Pwede naman po siya na pag nag-share kayo sa particular platform or ng video nyo, pwedeng private lang siya or a small group of people. Pwede rin na gawin nyo siyang public, right? So let's embrace this new technology, right? And use it as a teaching tool to reach more people. And I really highly recommend for us, no, particularly po sa inyong lahat ng mga teachers and educators, to really utilize social media to reach more students and to reach more people. Kasi factual information is very important nowadays, right? I hope you agree with me, no? And where do we get facts? Where do we learn that, right? Aside from our immediate family or our networks of friends, we also learn it from school. Okay, so I'm a big advocate of that. No, teachers and educators creating that atmosphere of learning, right? And promoting real and factual information. Okay. All right, sige po. Okay. Okay, so let's start off with how to start a book blog. Very basic lang po ang i-discuss natin ngayon, no? Kasi again, ang importante po is we start off. Paano tayo magsa-start? Paano tayo magsisimula? Okay. So I wrote down po 5 essentials. Ano yung 5 important things to consider before we create, no, a vlog, a video vlog. Okay. So these are the 5 essentials that I came up with. First is purpose. Second is all about the audience. Okay. Third is platform. Right? And then finally, so we have the fourth one is all about tools of the trade. And the fifth one is engagement. Sige, ito tingnan natin. We will discuss them one by one. Okay. So kaya ginawa ko lang pong 5 kasi isang oras lang tayo para magkasya, no? Hopefully magkasya siya sa in the time that's allotted for us. Okay. So let's start off with the purpose. Okay. So ano ang purpose? So when we define purpose is ano yung objective natin, right? So kagaya kanina po, no, I described na my objective when I started creating my vlog was I want to promote. First was all about reading. Second is all about awareness that we have a very rich treasure or culture of books in the Philippines. Okay, so yun yung objective ko when I started creating the vlog. No, ano yung reason na kung bakit kayo gagawa nun? So we have to consider that. Second is, what do we mean by delivery? Anong ibig sabihin ho ng what do you mean by delivery? Okay. When we say delivery ho is, ano yung style na gagamitin nyo pag ready na kayo mag-record, no? When you're beginning to record your vlog. So if you go to YouTube, no, there's a lot of things. May mga how-to. Di ba? Meron pong ganon. How to create. How to do this. DIY hacks. Yan. Isang type of delivery yon. Second is, pwede rin kayong mag-create ng parang interview session. So, kung ang objective nyo, let's say, going back to my blog po, no, it's all about book. Ang delivery is pwede hong in the future, I can invite an author. Tapos i-interviewin ko siya, oy, paano kayo nag-start book na to? Ano yung inspiration nyo? Pwedeng ganun po, interview session. Next is, ang type ng delivery could also be, to be more fun. Pwede rin na, kung gawin natin a little TikTok, kung naisipan nyo na ang platform nyo is TikTok, pwedeng dagdagan nyo ng sayaw ng content, promoting the book. Again, there's a lot of possibilities. Okay. Ganun ang delivery. So, interview session, pwede siyang teach back. Like what I'm doing po, I'm reviewing the book, I read the book, I give my thoughts about the book, I promote it. Ganun ang style ko po. Pwede rin naman yung book club. Yeah, uso ngayon yan. I've seen a lot of free sessions in the internet na book club style siya. Na group of people reading the same book, tapos balik silang mga, 2 weeks tayo, mag-usap tayo ha, mag-video tayo. Then they talk about what the book is all about. So marami sila, sabay-sabay sila nagsasalita. So magandang mga ideas po yun, no? Maraming klase ng types of delivery methods ang pwede niyong gawin when you're creating your vlog. Next one is all about focus. What do we mean by focus naman? Ang focus is, how I define it or why I added it here is yung preparation natin. Okay. So when you are, kung kayo, di ba, kayo yung bida sa vlog nyo, how focused are you in preparing? So if we compare it to our daily lives, ano yung agenda items nyo? Yan. Ano yung lesson plan nyo? Ano yung sasabihin nyo doon sa video na yon? I-describe nyo ba yung character? Magbibigay ba kayo ng synopsis about the book? Right? Magbibigay ba kayo ng opinion nyo? So, you create a checklist. Kagaya nito, no? Meron akong talking points na nakalagay sa notebook. So, ito yung focus ko para alam ko, sinusundan ko kung ano yung sinasabi ko. Ito, guide lang. Parang may guide questions ka or guidelines, no? And then you can be as spontaneous as you can be. Minsan ganun ang nangyayari. Kung papanoorin nyo yung channel ko, youtube.com/margokamaya, karamihan ng videos ko, very spontaneous po ako, no? Kahit may talking points ako, minsan naiiba yung sinasabi ko kasi very, pwedeng naging emotional ako, excited, tapos nakakalimutan ko na yung dapat kong sabihin, pero I take that, I tape it and then I show it. Kasi more genuine, no? Lumalabas ang pagka-genuine mo na tao pag ganun. Okay. Next one is curation. Ano yung curation? Usong-uso to sa mga Instagram na terms, no? Curated by. So when we say curation is, ano yung organization nyo? Like, puro ba kayo fiction books? Puro ba kayo pang children's book? Yan. Para pag nakita sa website or sa channel nyo or sa TikTok nyo, alam ng audience nyo na, uy, pag pumunta ako sa channel na to, ito lahat ang makikita ko. So, kunyari po, yung travel website, kung travel channel kayo, so ang expectation ng audience is puro travel lang ang pag-uusapan nyo. Kung food blogger kayo or vlogger, pag pumunta ang audience nyo sa channel nyo, puro food lang ang makikita nila. O kaya interview sa chefs, interview sa home cooks, etc. So yun ang ibig po natin at sabihin ng curation. Ano yung focal point ng inyong vlog? Okay, so yan po yung first natin, no, na essential. All about the purpose. What is your objective? What is the reason for you to create the vlog, right? Delivery, ano yung style? Storytelling ba siya? Or, by the way, ang delivery, pwede rin storytelling. If you are a teacher of small kids, no, of young students, I actually remembered na in the US, there is a principal, a school principal. What she did was, she's a principal in a low-income, no, a middle to low-income community. And then, na-realize niya na yung young students niya, yung mga elementary level, mga grades 1, 2, 3, she realized na pag umuuwi ng bahay, one or two, both parents are not yet there. Kumbaga, wala silang bedtime story kasi either the parents are working, no, or both parents are working second jobs. And then because they are coming from a low income community, buying of books is also very expensive. Parang hindi siya priority ng family o ng magulang to buy books for their kids, no? Kasi ang children's book, ngayon, di ba, magkano na? 100 pesos, 80 pesos. So, malaking bagay yon. Kung araw-araw kayo mag-story time ng mga anak nyo, ako, that's like what? 500 pesos a week, no? If you consider it as a budget. So, malaking bagay siya for a low-income family. So, ang ginawa niya is, she did an FB Live. Okay. Nag-FB Live siya. So, pag around 7 or 8 o'clock, nakapajama siya, tapos nasasala siya, tapos she invites yung mga young students, of course, with the consent of the parents, no? With the consent na, uy, you watch me sa FB Live, I will read to you. Yan. Ito yung storybook time with principal. Ganyan. So, yun, magandang factor din yun, no? Na, again, because we have kids now, sometimes the tendency is they like watching more, no, rather than reading on their end. Yun magandang tool yun, no? Storytelling time. Ayan. Okay, so yun po yung purpose natin, no? Right? Okay, second one. Ito yung example ko ng curation na ginawa ko sa channel, no? Okay. So promoting Vibal again. So again, sabi ko nga sa mga taga Vibal, no, I really believe in the product that they have, no, that they turn out. So I'm a big fan of Vibal. So ito when you go to my channel, youtube.com/margokamaya, meron akong isang playlist or folder na puro Vibal books na I reviewed. Ito po yung You Shall Be as Gods, Anting-Anting and the Filipino Quest by Mr. Dennis Villegas, no. Unfortunately, Mr. Villegas passed away, no, a few months ago, and I really like. I haven't met him, but I was able to interact with him in one of the Filipiniana book clubs or book groups that I joined, and I like how he shared, no, books from his collection. Kaya when I learned about his passing, I was really saddened kasi aside from this, meron rin siyang second book, no, that came out. It was the Philippine Cinema with Mr. Gaspar Vibal. It came out, I think, in December of 2020. I also have that book. So it was very unfortunate. I was hoping sana to have met him in the future para he could sign my two books, no, that was printed by Vibal. So ito yung example po ng curation na it could be for me. Meron po akong playlist na dedicated to one publisher. Meron rin po akong isa pang playlist na it's an international publisher. It's DK Books. That's also my favorite international publisher. No? I have a lot of book reviews about DK Books as well. Yeah. So this is an example of it. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's go to the second one. Audience. Okay. Very important, no? Sa lahat po ng mga contest, parating merong audience impact. So very important. Okay. So first is, let's find out who is your target market. Sino ba ang tina-target nyo as a book vlogger, right? Okay. Young kids ba? High school kids, right? Young adults, maybe more mature people, readers ba? Collectors, right? So yun yung you have to consider, no? When you are planning to be a vlogger or to create a video and post it in social media. You have to know who your target market is. Kasi once you know who your target market is, medyo alam niyo yung approach niyo. Yan, okay. So kung ang target niyo medyo young kids, so yun, pwede yung storytelling, right? Storytelling. Oh, hello mga kids. For today, this is the story that we will be reading and interacting with. Yan, okay. Right? Oo. Tapos yun nga, sabi ko, pag TikTok, kasi ang TikTok up to 3 minutes lang pwede eh. So pwedeng sabayan yun ng sayaw, okay? Introducing it or may kanta, something na very lively, no, and entertaining for people. Okay? Next is language. Ito yung isa sa pinakamaganda sa Philippines, no? Because we have hundreds of languages. We shouldn't stick to, when you create a vlog, please do not, ano to ang tawag ba dito? Do not limit yourself to use English lang or Tagalog or Filipino. If you go to YouTube, no, and Facebook or TikTok, ang maganda is language is very alive in the Philippines. A few years ago, actually, someone reached out to me, no. I think he saw my website, thevisualtraveler.net, and he saw that I write posts or blog posts about books and reading. And he reached out to me, and he said na he's a writer from Zamboanga City, and he self-published a book about the Little Prince. Yung sa kanya is he translated the Little Prince into Chavacano. Imagine po, a young person, I think he was like in his 20s, no? And he translated on his own The Little Prince. Originally, The Little Prince was written in French. Then it was translated in English. And then from the English version, he translated it to Chavacano. I was trying to look for his name. No, I can't find it now. But if he's watching, if you know who he is, let's reconnect. No, and I'd like to interview you in one of my videos again, and so that you can promote your Little Prince in Chavacano. So imagine, I was so amazed. Nasabi ko, wow, that's very important, no? The local language. Ano yung language na komportable ho kayo? Don't limit yourself. Don't be afraid, right? To use your local language. Even though I live in Cebu City, I'm not a Cebuano. So I don't speak Bisaya very well. But because I've been living here for a number of years now, I really try to learn Bisaya. So sabi nga natin, no, hindi na ako mabebenta. Hindi na ako mabebenta dito sa Cebu kasi naiintindihan ko na ang bisdak ko, ang salitang bisdak. Yun yung term nila kung magaling ka na talaga sa Bisaya, bisdak na bisdak. Okay. So language po, again, it can be a mix. Pwede ang isang yung video English, pwede yung isang video nyo Filipino, isang video nyo kung Kapampangan kayo, Kapampangan po, right? Para yung interaction, para yung audience sabi, ay, ito, local. Kaya nakikita ko yung sa mga comments very happy yung mga tao pag may nagbibisaya, pag may nagkakapampangan, may nagbibicolano, they're very proud of it, right? So yun, very important is the language. Next one is the appeal. No? Connecting yan, connected yan. No? Ano yung appeal natin? Alright. So, ngayon, medyo struggling ako. It is very hard. Pero, yun nga, meron naman nanonood. May appeal, no? Pero paano natin tataasan? So, as a vlogger rin, when you create content, you also have to review your audience. Ano yung need nila? And I'm always open to comments, no? So, in the video, I'll show you one of my videos po. I always say at the end na don't hesitate to write down your comments or suggestions kasi based on that, doon ko nalalaman kung ano yung appeal ng audience, no? Ano yung gusto nilang makita? Ano yung suggestions nila? And I'm glad that there are people who do that, no? They appreciate the videos that I create, and then they also make suggestions. Sabi na, sana po i-feature niyo po itong book na to, meron po ba kayo nito? Or kaya sasabihin nila, buti po nakita ko ang video niyo kasi interested po ako sa Philippine history. Ganyan. So, yun yung appeal. Next is yung reaction. I'll show you po an example of a reaction. So I got this from, ito yung ibig sabihin natin ng reaction is, ano yung reaction ng audience nyo, ng nanonood, ng viewers. Okay? So, dinilit ko lang po yung mga pangalan, no? Kasi I wasn't able to ask their permission. Kaya, just to avoid, I deleted the names. But these are some of the comments that I received, no? I don't know if you can read it, but I'll read some. Sabi nila, uy, naghahanap talaga ako ng mga book lovers sa YouTube. Nakakatuwa naman na marami palang gumagawa ng ganitong content. Palawakin natin ang ating community dito sa YouTube. Di ba? Nakakataba po ng puso yun eh. Tapos meron rin nagsabi na, Miss, your style of explanation is very good. Carry on. Yan. Dapat po pag ganyan, nagre-reply rin kayo ha. Malaking bagay rin po yung nagre-reply tayo sa mga nagko-comments. Pero syempre ho, kung para na kayong si Alex Gonzaga na millions na po, medyo mahirap na rin mag-reply pag marami na, no, na nagko-comment. Eh. Pero kung starting pa lang, malaking factor po yan. No? Kasi naiinganyo rin ho yung nanonood pag nagko-comment kayo o nagla-like kayo sa suggestions nila or comment. Kasi na-appreciate nila na napapansin nyo sila. Yan. Okay. Ito yung pinaka-gusto ko. May nag-comment na, I wish I have a tita like you. Sabi ko, talagang pang-tita na ho ako. So, ito, natuwa ho ako dito na nakita ko. Talagang hinard ko siya. No? Tapos naman ho, ito, another example, sabi niya, uy, nice unboxing. And then, this viewer shared na, I also bought the same book, sabi niya. Ganyan. Tapos, another one is, so cool, great job, love from India. Nakita niyo ho, no? Meron ho from India. Imagine, akala ko Filipino lang ang nanonood sa akin. Meron din po pala taga-India. Ayan. Tapos, so yun, marami po. Meron din naman akong pinost na nag-aaway na yung dalawa. May nagko-comment na hindi ho nag-aaway, pero nagdidiskusyon na sila doon sa video na ginawa ko. So, hinayaan ko lang sila, no? Kasi okay naman yun, maayos naman po yung pagdidiskusyon nila. Very informal, very formal naman po at saka very respectful from each other. Okay. And then, so that's your second, no, the audience. The third one, no, nakikita ko po maraming nagtatanong, may nagtanong kanina, sige sagutin ko ho to ha, kasi very timely itong tanong niya eh. I think kung anong platform. So ito yung platform na sinasabi natin. Anong social media po ang gagamitin natin? Saan ho natin ipopost yung mga videos natin? O una-una sa TikTok, no? Kasi sikat na sikat po ang TikTok. So ang maganda po sa TikTok ngayon is you can upload or you can do a live session, no? Live session. Yan. Tapos you can upload a video up to 3 minutes na pinahaba na nila kasi dati I think less than 1 minute. So when I was going through TikTok, ang maganda pag tinype ko po yung hashtag Philippine History, hashtag Philippine Books, may mga lumalabas na. May mga nagpro-promote na rin. No? Meron nga ako nakita parang ang ginagawa niya is like something like, did you know? Ganyan, did you know siya? Did you know? In Philippine history today, ganun yung tema niya or theme niya. So maganda, ayun, tuwang-tuwa po ako nung nakikita ko yun kasi TikTok is not just designed now, no, for just dancing or singing, no? But also for learning. Okay. YouTube, of course. YouTube po is the best platform for me, no, for video. Kung magsisimula kayo, medyo may limitations pa lang po ang YouTube. Pwedeng hindi pa masyadong mahaba ang pwede niyong i-upload. Pero sa katagalan, once you upload, you start using your channel a lot, then you can upload as longer videos. Yan. Okay. Instagram, medyo mahirap po, pero kung hindi naman book vlogging ang target nyo, pwede rin naman siya magpo-post kayo about books. Yan. Pwede rin. Kasi ginagawa ko rin po yan, no? Yung book ko, and then I talk a little about my book, and then I post it in my Instagram. Yan. Okay rin yun. Pwede rin yun. Meron rin naman silang, I think, Instagram live or video. You can also upload video now in Instagram. Ang Vimeo, hindi ho masyadong sikat ang Vimeo sa atin sa Philippines, no? But Vimeo is like YouTube in some ways because you can upload a video in Vimeo. Again, if it's a free login, medyo shortened lang ang videos that you can upload. But as you move along, or if you find that Vimeo is more accessible to you, right? You can maybe sign up for their subscription. Actually, I think last year, if I remember it correctly, Mike De Leon, one of our foremost directors here in the Philippines, started uploading his movies in Vimeo. Yung kanyang mga 1980s movies, or I think the one that, the recent one that he had with Atom Aurelio, no? He uploaded it in Vimeo. So imagine, no, a whole movie in Vimeo. So you can check that out. Ang maganda rin po sa Vimeo, especially if yung firewall nyo sa internet, no, at school, sana eventually, if we go back to the new normal or the better normal, baka sa school nyo, kung magpa-play kayo ng videos, hindi inaalaw ang YouTube platform, Vimeo is the second best to upload videos. Kasi pwede siya sa mga corporate sites. It's acceptable, no? Unlike ang YouTube. Kasi ang YouTube, kasi very wide and vast kasi ang YouTube. So medyo, some corporate firewalls, they don't allow it, no? Okay. Definitely Facebook. Okay. Facebook rin, no? Nakikita natin. And then Kumu. Kumu is new. Bago pa lang siya, but what's nice about Kumu, it's a Filipino app. Okay. So that's also something that you can consider as a platform. There's a lot. I know there's a lot more, but these are some of the platforms that I know of, no, in terms of social media. Okay. So this is the platform, no? TikTok, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, Vimeo, Facebook, and Kumu. Right? Fourth one, tools of the trade. Yan, ito may nagtanong kanina. Let me check out, no, if I can still, or somebody ask, kailangan ba daw ng editing skills? Actually, ako, kung mapapanood nyo nga ho yung video ko, very simple lang ho yung editing skills ko, no? Very straightforward. Kasi po, ang ginagamit ko lang pong video editor, so ang ginagawa ko po is, meron ho akong camera, no? Before, nung hindi pa ako maka-afford ng camera, I just use my cellphone. Ako, nawawala yung cellphone ko. I just use my cellphone po, no? Ito po, karamihan ng mga nag-YouTube ngayon, cellphone lang po ang gamit, no? Pangkuha ng photos, mga vloggers po. Ako when I started po, cellphone lang eh. So sa cellphone po, most of the cellphones now have built-in editing apps, no? Para you can edit your videos, you can put captions, you trade ano to, ang tawag mo dito, parang yung mark nyo, like if you can see my screen, no, lower left-hand corner, I have my mark, no, the visual traveler na mark. You can do that in your phones. At saka meron po mga mobile apps na free. Ano bang mga mobile apps na free for editing? Meron tayong Viva Video, kasi yun yung very familiar, Moviva, right? Filmora, meron yung mga free na apps, no? Tapos, nung naka-afford na po ako ng camera, hindi naman po siya kamahalan kasi starter camera po siya. Dito po ako mostly nagve-video, no, using my camera. Tapos, i-upload ko po yung video na na-create ko sa aking laptop. Tapos, ang ginagamit ko po lang editor is yung built-in na naman na laptop na editor. Kaya wala pong mga fancy tricks ang aking editing, no? Papakita ko sa inyo mamaya. Very simple lang siya. Again, it's not really yung 'di ba ho, minsan na may appeal, no? Pero minsan pag marami ng mga special effects, hindi na rin maganda. Right? Kasi yun nga po, yung audience ko, ang target ko is book review. Right? So, dinadaan ko lang po sa pagsasalita. No? And then very simple na editing. No? Pinapakita ko kung ano yung nasa loob, yung mga kung ano yung pictures. So very straightforward po siya. Siyempre, kailangan nyo ng props, right? Tapos, tripod, maganda rin. Kung wala kayong kaibigan or family member na maghahawak, kagaya ko po, may stand lang ako, so ginagamit ko po yung tripod ko para yon, no? Ilaw maganda rin. Ngayon pong COVID tayo, if you can watch my video, so karamihan dito lang sa bahay, sa sala. Kung ano ang nakikita niyo sa likod ko, ito yung makikita niyo sa video ko. Pareho pa rin ang kortina ko. No? Makikita ho niyo yan. Ay, ito yung kortina niya. Ito yung kortina niya. Nung isang buwan, ito yung kortina niya. Kulay ng kortina niya. Pero I make sure na, yun, we'll talk about the surroundings. Very important, no? Ang optics, walang makikitang hindi dapat makita sa video. Right? So yun, we can be very creative about that. Ano yung location nyo? Kung may malaki po kayong bahay, may garden kayo, pwede rin sa garden nyo, right? Maganda yun, may mga flowers. Tapos doon kayo nagve-video. Okay. Kasi, di ba, bawal ngayon, hindi mo masyadong magandang lumabas ngayon, no? Because for our safety. Okay. So, yun po, no? Again, no, try it out. Practice lang, practice. Ako po, sometimes before I shoot, nagpa-practice muna ako. Pero kung minsan po wala na akong time, medyo pagod na ako. After, kasi normally I do my videos po is after shift. Night shift po ako, di ba? Sa call center po ako nagtatrabaho. So pag nag-out po ako ng mga 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, dyan po ako nagbe-video. So medyo pagod na ako. Minsan mo, one take lang. Okay na. Okay na to. Tapos i-edit ko lang ng konti. Right? Kung meron ako hindi magandang nasabi, i-edit out ko lang siya. Tapos ipapagtatagpi-tagpiin ko na yung video ko. Ganon yung ginagawa ko po. No? Kaya very simple. Okay? And then finally, the fifth one, no, about the essentials is, like what I said, no, yung mga comments is very, very important. So wag ho tayo magiging, if we decide to be vloggers, right, wag po tayo maging balat sibuyas. Ako po ganyan ako minsan na-hurt ako, pero sabi ko, ginagawa, ito gusto ko to passion ko to. This is my interest. So medyo titibayin ko na lang ang loob ko kung may mga hindi magagandang comments. Okay. Pero so far naman po, yung mga comments na nababasa ko sa YouTube na linalagay nila, walang personalan. Okay, maganda naman po, no, about the books, kung ano yung gusto nilang makita, mga suggestions nila for future episodes. So I think depende rin po yan sa material. I think whatever you put out there, kung ano ang dating sa audience. Remember po, going back to the appeal, no, to the audience. Kung makita nila na very respectful naman kayo, courteous kayo, maganda naman yung mga sinasabi nyo, no, hindi kayo nag-incite ng mga issue or controversy, your viewers will also respect that. They will also see your brand, no? Na, uy, kagalang-galang to. So, hindi sila mag-make ng wrong na comment. So that's nice about it, no? That's also one thing that we also have to consider. What is the type of material? What is the type of branding that you want to bring out, no, to your audience? And it generates yung feedback, no, or positivity as well. So kung positive po ang linalabas natin, di ba? Kung positive ang linalabas natin, positive rin po yung bumabalik sa atin. Okay. So somebody asked, no, in one of the questions is, how can we sustain people? How can we sustain people? How can we have a continuity? Meaning, paano mo maihihikayat, no? How can you encourage people to watch your videos all the time? So one of the things that I've learned is we need to be consistent po. What do we mean by consistency? You need to be consistent in terms of producing your material and uploading your material. Kung napansin niyo po sa Facebook, no, or sa Instagram, pag parati po kayo nagpo-post, ang post nyo umaakyat parati. Kung sa feeds ng kaibigan nyo, parati ho kayo lumalabas kung parati kayo nagpo-post. So that's an example of being consistent. Wag naman po kayo minuminuto kayo nag-upload, no? Pero ang ibig ko sabihin, no, lalo na pag video, kasi mahirap ang preparation, no? Hindi naman ho basta-basta kayo makakagawa ng video. Pero yung consistency nyo na once a week, yan, meron kayong video. Or twice a week, may video kayo. So yung audience nyo, nahihikayat na, alam ko meron siyang bagong material next week. Okay, that's one po, no? Consistency. Second is, very important rin yung promotion. Ako nga po, hindi ko nga po alam kung mapapagod na po yung aking mga friends sa Facebook kasi po, ang ginagawa ko is, kung naka-upload po ako ng video, share ko po siya sa personal kong Facebook, tapos sinishare ko rin po siya sa Facebook page ko po. Meron po akong Facebook page, The Visual Traveler Blog, no? Ayun po yung Facebook page ko, ina-upload ko po yan. Tapos meron rin po akong isa pang Facebook page na ginawa ko po, The Global Bookworm. Ina-upload ko rin yan. So, important is the promotion as well in social media. Yung cross-promotion nyo. May Twitter rin po ako. Upload ko rin yung link. Watch for the new video. Okay, here's my new video all about. So, promotion po. Pagtsatsagaan nyo talaga siya. Minsan nakakapagod. Like, for example, ito po, hindi naman to full-time job ko, no? Kaya minsan po may tendency rin na hindi ko siya nasusustain. So, yun yung mahirap po, no? Yung sustainability. How can you sustain a video vlog? Kung pinasok nyo to, how can you be consistent? And then how can you sustain it? Yan, dyan po ako medyo nagsa-struggle. So, kaya minsan maraming manonood, minsan wala. Sabi ko, ay naku, walang nanonood. Pero ang maganda po nun, akala ko walang nagla-like, walang nanonood, pero nakakakuha po ako ng mga messages, no? O kaya pag nakikita ko po yung mga co-workers ko or yung mga friends ko po or relatives, nakakataba po ng puso na when they mention it, uy, I saw your video, I read your blog, uy, ang ganda ng write-up na ginawa mo. Parang ako po, may nanonood naman pala. Yun na lang ang iniisip ko, no? Meron naman akong audience, may nanonood. So, I don't see na lang the numbers. What is important again is I produce the material, right? I promote my advocacy, right? And I know in the long run, I will gain that. Kasi ito po they said nga there's a saying na this is not a race, it's a marathon. Di ba po, pag race is 1 minute lang, no? 60 seconds. Pero pag marathon, pang matagalan siya. Yan. Yun yung kailangan natin isipin na we don't get instant fame, no? Hindi po tayo like Alex Gonzaga or Tony Gonzaga na biglang lalaki talaga yung kanyang viewership, no? Well, let's start po. Start lang po tayo. Continuously promote it, continuously sustain your material, right? Make sure that you produce quality materials rin. I think that's very important, no? The information that you create, is it quality, no? Is it out of quality? Right. May appeal rin ba siya? Yan, going back to the appeal. Second one is, I wrote down here contest and giveaway. So, ako rin po, mahilig rin ako sumali sa mga contest, sa mga writing contest, sa mga vlog. Wala pa naman ako nasasalihan ng video contest, pero kung meron po, sasali rin ako niyan. Ganyan. So, I do that, no? I join. And then, another one is, to gain viewership, because somebody asked as well, viewership is, I've seen, no, yung mga BookTubers, ang ginagawa nila, nagbibigay sila ng giveaways. So, they do collaborations with brands. Baka naman, Vibal, no, you can collaborate with me and then I can do a giveaway sa YouTube channel to, no, or sa Facebook. Yeah. Free books from Vibal, right? Diba? Gawin natin yan, book giveaway. Actually, to share po with you, no, I do have a giveaway that is still open. So, let's go to youtube.com po, hanapin po natin yung aking YouTube channel. I will share it with you po, no? Let's see, no? medyo may lag lang sa internet. Oops. Okay. So, youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. Ito po yung channel ko. Ito po yung itsura ng channel ko. So yan, no, puro mga books. May kapuso ko kasi yung kapatid ko po nagtatrabaho sa GMA. So ito po, let's go to my videos. Meron po akong book giveaway ngayon. Okay, don't forget to subscribe ha, para naman ho maiganyo ako na to create more materials rin, no? Ito po may book giveaway ako. Kaya punta po kayo ng youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. Meron po akong book giveaway. Yung book giveaway ko po, ayan, may patalastas eh, palabasin lang natin to. Yung book giveaway ko po is naayon for this month, no? The month of August. Kasi the month of August is all about Philippine History Month, right? Aside from being the National Language Month or Buwan ng Wika, Philippine History Month or August has been declared as a Philippine History Month. So ito po yung book giveaway ko, all about Philippine history. So I'll be giving away 2 copies of a Philippine history book. Sali po kayo ha, kasi ito pong book giveaway ko until tomorrow na lang. Until August 28, 11:59 p.m. So by Sunday po, I will announce the winner, no? All right. So this is what my blog looks like po, no? Let me stop sharing muna. I'll put a volume po, no, para you can hear it as well. I'm just gonna show a little of the sounds. Okay. So, I'll play a few seconds of it. Itong music po, this is a free music from YouTube. So my suggestion is be very careful about yung mga copyrighted music, no? If you don't own the music, if you didn't buy it from the source itself, pag in-upload nyo yan sa Facebook or sa YouTube or in any social media platform, pwede po yan bawiin yung sound or yung music. So be very careful. So what's nice about YouTube is they have free music. If you go to YouTube Studio, you can download free music from them and you can use it for your videos. Okay. So, ito po yung opening ko. Yan. I hope you can hear it, no? And then, I put a little of yung subscribe to Margo Kamaya. I used canva.com. I hope, no, I'm not promoting it, but I use canva.com as well as a free editor. Editing skill. For those who are interested, no? For editing for pictures, photos, yan. Canva. Snapseed naman for apps. Yan, for your mobile app, no? Yan. So I have it here. Promotion, very important.
Hello everyone, my name is Margo and welcome back to my channel, youtube.com/Margo Kamaya.
Alright, so may introduction po ako, no? You have to introduce yourself. My name is Margo. Welcome back to youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. So para may name recall. And then I also put, again, very simple lang po yung editing ko. I put Margo Book Collector. Yan yung aking title, Book Collector. Yan. Tapos ito po, a few more minutes.
So I'm so excited for this episode because this is my first ever book giveaway episode. So I will be sharing to you later on what are the mechanics of the book giveaway. But first is I want to give you the reason why I'm conducting a book giveaway this month of August. So in 2012, it was declared by President.
Yan. So ito ho, no, ini-explain ko kung bakit ako nagbo-book giveaway. And like what I mentioned earlier, it's because of Philippine History Month. So linagay ko po dyan, may emphasis, Philippine History Month. Tapos medyo i-forward ko po, no, para makita nyo po yung iba kong dinadagdag na sulat or caption. Nasaan na ba siya? Okay, here. Ito yung ito yung isa sa mga mechanics or my question, no, how to answer it para makakuha ng book giveaway. So I also, habang sinasabi ko rin, kasi I want people to focus on it, I also put the caption. what was the name of the first formal theater built in 1846? Ayan, ganyan po yung paggawa ko, no? Very simple po again ang editing ko. And then finally, at the end, yan. So, I added din, no? At the end, I added na naman yung giveaway mechanics ko at the end. So, I put that in, right? And then finally, meron po akong parang ganito, yung closing na makikita. Watch more of our videos, the Visual Traveler blog. Yan. Importante na may parang closing ka rin. Okay. At meron din po akong sinasabi at the end. No? So kung sa umpisa, sasabihin ko, hello everyone, my name is Margo. Welcome back to my channel, youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. In today's episode, yan yung parati ko, pag pinanood niyo po yung video ko, parati ho niyo maririnig yan. Yan yung standard kong opening. Tapos, ang standard ko pong closing, nakuha ko po sa mga pamangkin ko. Kasi maganda po siya, very timely, no? And I find it very appropriate as well. So, ang closing ko naman, parating yung ganun, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to place your comments. Yan, sasabihin ko. And then I will say, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe. Take care. Bye! Yan, may standard po akong closing. So, pag pinanood niyo po yung video ko, lahat, ganyan po yung closing ko. Stay safe. Take care. Bye! Parang kung naalala niyo po si Inday Badiday, no? Yung may TV show pa siya nung 90s or 80s na sinasabi niya yung Sarang Hamidabo. Yun yung kanyang standard closing. So, nakikilala siya ng mga tao with her closing. Yun yung importante. So, meron po kayong intro, right? Very important na may, tanggalin ko po yung volume, right? May importante yung may intro kayo, parang ganito, pang-attract sa viewers. Tapos, meron kayo nung, parang title page nyo, yun, yung promotion yun ng page. And then, another suggestion that I would like you to make, kung kaya ng editor nyo, is to write your name as a caption. And then kung ano yung title nyo, no? Kunyari, kung food blogger kayo or foodie. Yan. Minsan po kasi nagbe-video rin ako ng food eh. Kasi I'm a food blogger rin. So lalagay ko foodie. Kung pagkain yung binivideo ko, foodie. Yan, ganyan siya. So maganda yun, no? Magandang style siya na pwede niyong gawin siya sa video nyo. Okay. So, continuous learning, engagement again. What is continuous learning? Research po. Kagaya nung sinabi ko, manood kayo ng mga videos sa YouTube, sa mga TikTok, ng mga aspirational vloggers nyo para alam nyo kung ano yung pwede nyong i-insert. So, that's something na I'm also trying to be again consistent, no? Na tinitingnan ko yung mga luma ko pong videos. Sa totoo naman po, may pagbabago naman. Malaki naman yung pagbabago nung first videos ko sa ngayon. Meron naman siyang pagbabago sa the way na nagde-deliver ako, sa the way na I send my messaging, sa editing skills ko, medyo nag-improve na ng konti. So, meron naman siyang pagbabago. So, yun ang maganda, no? Always review your product, no? Look at the comments that your viewers place, no? And then edit yourself. Make the change, right? Social groups, like sabi ko nga, meron po akong part of po ako ng Cebu Blogger Society, and then yung meron rin akong sinalihan ngayon na it's a group of content creators. Kasi ang bagong term ngayon sa mga bloggers and vloggers is content creator po, no? Meron rin po akong group na sinalihan na meron po kaming weekly challenge. Yung weekly challenge is we need to produce at least one either video or blog post. Kung saan po kayo, so, ano yung specialty nyo? Kung sa video ba kayo or sa writing, you focus on that, and then dapat every week meron kayong ma-produce na material. So it helps, no? It encourages you to create and produce consistent material. So that's one. And then of course, definitely the collaboration. Ako nga po talaga, I'm very privileged, no, and happy that Vibal reached out to me. And sabi nga nila, no, with Miss Rio, she just saw my video in YouTube. She watched it, and even Tope, no, and sabi nila, oh, we want to help. We want to help you out, Margo. So that's why we invited, we want to invite you and to promote na pwede pala natin i-mix, no? Pwede natin i-mix yung learning using social media. I think that's the most important part, right? Learning, teaching, imparting knowledge and information, and using the new technology that we have, right? Kagaya po sinabi ko, no, I'm not a millennial po. I'm a Gen Xer. But because I need to adapt, we need to adapt to the new technology, to the new society that we have, to the new culture. So very important po yan. Kasi that's how we live, no? That's how we improve. Because if we just stay in our comfort zone or level, wala po tayong improvement. So maganda po yung we take challenges. And again, very important rin na may support system tayo. Yan. Okay. So to cap it off, no, another po mga reminders lang. Ito po nalalaman ko lang nga po nung once I started doing a lot of social media content. Be very careful po, no, when you're videotaping or photography, taking photos of people. Unless kakilala nyo, nakuha nyo yung consent nila, nagpaalam po kayo, uy, mapapa-background kita ha, okay po yun. Kasi ngayon po, di ba, ngayon marami, pwede kayong mareklamo eh. Uy, bakit ako nandun sa video nito? Hindi naman mo kumuha ng consent sa akin ha. Bayaran mo ako ha ng danyos. Ay, naku, patay na po tayo dyan, no? Kaya if you notice po, ako, mostly, ang background lang po ako talaga, no? Bihira kung mag-video naman po ako sa labas, I make sure na hindi po siya sa lugar na maraming tao, na may ma-accidentally po ako mag-videotape kasi baka may magreklamo po. Another is, I know that maybe our content is designed for kids, pero be very careful rin po na including kids, even if it's your own kids po, no, in your video and your photography. Kasi remember po, when you upload that to the internet or to the web, that's public property na. Anyone can access it na. Even if you delete it, we don't know if somebody has already downloaded it, recorded it, right? Took a photo of it. So let's be very careful about kids. Yun yung mga natutunan ko po, no? Second about a reminder is, yung sabi ko po nga kanina, be very careful about copyrighted materials. Yung sa mga music, number 1 po yan ng music. So there are a lot, again, Google lang po tayo, there are a lot of resources where you can find free music, no? Free and safe music, mga samplings. Another, in terms of copyrighted materials po is, if you notice, sa mga blog post ko po, meron po ako mga references. I write down where I got the information. Para ho tayong gumagawa ng report or thesis, no? You have to quote the person who said that. Where did you get that information? Dapat may backing ka. Hindi naman lahat ideas natin po, no? So, you have to be very careful about referencing, especially if you are providing factual information. Dapat may reference tayo para meron credibility. Because remember, we're still teachers, we're still educators, right? So we have to guard our credibility. Next one po is like what I mentioned earlier, I shared yung background or optics natin. We need to be very careful about that. So tingnan nyo po yung background nyo. May mga nakasabit ba dyan? O baka po nagbe-video kayo, biglang may lilitaw na taong naglalakad po, no? Yung mga kasama nyo sa bahay. So be very careful. Para din po tayong nagbe-virtual, no? Teaching. Now, we need to make sure that the area where you're videotaping or creating your video, it's a safe area, right? No accidental mistakes na magsisisi tayo. And the next one is, this is very important po, no? All about privacy. So as we all know, no, scamming, phishing, vishing, there's a lot of scam methods na that's happening. So make sure lang po na you safeguard your passwords sa mga social media nyo. You do the two-factor authentication. And then yung information na gusto nyo pong ilabas or i-share, it's something na hindi nyo gagamitin in your personal, like sa mga passwords nyo po. No? Yan. Yan yung very important thing. Kaya kagaya nito po, nasa bahay ako, and then you can see my background, but you don't see anything personal. Wala po akong personal photos, right? Wala po yung di nyo makikita kung saan ako nakatira. Exactly. Unless kung meron po kayong napaka-high-tech na gadget, no? Pero yun yung po yung importante sa privacy. Whatever you place in the web, you have to make sure that that is something that you want to share to the entire world. Kasi once you post it, you place it in social media, wala na po yan. You cannot take it back, right? It can be used against you as well. Okay? Another thing, no, just to kind of to add rin po is when you create po yung content nyo, don't think about paano ko yayaman dito. Kagaya po ng sinabi ko, no, unless you have a built-in audience na po, kagaya ng mga artista, no, or celebrities natin na may built-in audience na. Kasi artista na po sila eh. Kaya when they transition to YouTube, creating their channel or creating their Facebook, meron na silang instant audience, no? Pumunta sila sa TikTok, may instant name recall na. Syempre po, hindi po tayo ganyan. So, ang importante po is huwag niyo isipin yung money. At saka lalo na po ngayon, 'di ba, ang BIR medyo stricto na sila sa mga content creators. So again po, kung ang advocacy natin is to encourage people to read, right? Encourage people to get to know more about Philippine history, culture, and society. Let's focus on that. Let's create materials. The reason why we are creating materials is to promote our advocacy. Yung mga brand collaborations po yan, yung mga free giveaways na binibigay po sa atin, yung mga free samples, no, mga free hotel stays if you're a travel blogger. After na po yan, dadating rin po yan, no? Pag again, if someone watches it, a brand believes in you, they see your output, maganda ang output niyo, consistent kayo, may credibility kayo, right? They will be the one who will be attracted to you. Sila po mismo ang makikipag-collaborate. Okay? Okay, so don't think about money po muna, right? Anyways po, we're foremost as we are teachers and we're educators, right? Yun yung una nating trabaho eh. We're teachers and educators. Second na po ito, interest lang po natin to, hobby, right? Passion lang po. It's another teaching tool in how to reach our target audience or market. So I hope those are some of the things, no, that we'll take into consideration when you create your blog, right? Okay, so let's review po, no, the 5 essentials when creating a blog. First one is all about the purpose, right? Second is all about your audience. Sino yung audience natin? Third one is our platform. Facebook ba? YouTube? Kumo? TikTok? Right? Tools of the trade. Again po, you do not have to buy equipment. Kung ano po yung existing nyo, cellphone. Basta po nakaka-record yan, meron kayong SD card, that's good. Ring light, so, ito po, maliit na ring light. Nabili ko lang po ito sa Shopee yata po, or sa Lazada. Very, murang-mura lang po siya, no? Ito po, ring light. O kaya sa labas ng bahay para maliwanag. You know, again, you do not have to have fancy equipment. Kasi hindi naman po tayo professional pa eh. Starting pa lang po tayo, no? So that's your tools of the trade. And finally, engagement. Very important po. Right? Very important yung engagement part natin. Okay, so yun po yung mga 5 essentials na I would like to share to everyone. No? Purpose, audience, platform, tools of the trade, and then engagement. Alam ko po marami kayong questions, no? Especially for the young people who are watching and who would like to create their own vlog. Maybe you can reach out to me, no? Message me and I'll try to answer some of your questions. But in a few minutes, we'll start our own Q&A session, and let's see if we can answer some of the questions that were posted by our viewers. I think, Tope, no, we can start off with our Q&A. I think we'll go to the first one. Ito, coming from K. Marfel. I think you posted it in Zoom, no? K. Marfel, I hope it's okay I mentioned your name, K. Marfel. You ask, ano po ang isusunod niyong i-review sa Vibal? May nabili po kasi ako, more tomboy, more bakla than we admit. Sana yun po ang i-review niyo next. Very good question, Kay. Actually, I've actually, what do you call this? For June, no? Kasi nakuha ko yung more tomboy, more bakla, more than we admit kong book, mga early June. So very timely siya nung dumating siya kasi it was June was Pride Month, no? Eto, papakita ko sa'yo. So Kay, no? Go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. I actually posted, where is it? Ito. This is my video, no? For the more tomboy, more bakla than we admit. Insights into sexual and gender diversity in Philippine culture, history, and politics. So I created a review. So I hope you can watch this, no? Just look for my name, Margo Kamaya, in YouTube, and you'll be able to find this. Actually, if you type in more tomboy, more bakla, there are only 2 videos. I don't know if you saw it, Tope, no? Yung results, one is from Vibal, and then the other one is from my channel. So it's very easy to find, no? Those videos pertaining to this. And then for your other question, what's my next, no? What's my next Vibal book? Actually, I'm in the middle of editing it. I did a video shoot last Sunday. It's all about the Noli Me Tangere. The Noli Me Tangere that Vibal Foundation printed. Watch out for that. Siguro, hopefully by tomorrow, I can post it in my YouTube channel, no? And I'll share with you yan. Yan yung one of the, ito talaga, totoo to, one of the most beautiful Noli Me Tangere editions I've ever owned, printed by Vibal Foundation. And I'll share that to you tomorrow sa YouTube channel ko. Kaya please, no, youtube.com/Margo Kamaya. Medyo mahirap lang po yung pangalan ko, no? Margaux. Yan. Ganyan po ang spelling ng pangalan ko. Pero watch out for that po. And I'll show you, no, some of the pages of that book, no, by Vibal, particularly the Noli Me Tangere. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next question, no? Let's see. Okay, for Miss Sai Castañeda, how can we make Filipino books more accessible? I noticed most of these types of books are more pricey when compared to international books. Miss Sai, no, what's nice about, dapat hindi ko sabihin na ganito, no? Pero, so when I shared, sabi ko, when I started my Filipiniana book collection, it was around 2019. I mostly bought it from Vibal, no, the online store. Kaya malaki na history ko sa Vibal, sa online store nila. I think I bought almost all of the of the coffee table books that they have. I have copies of that. So totoo 'yon. Medyo may kamahalan siya. You know, but again, the quality, definitely naman, the value of it, it's there. The printing, the materials that's used, and of course the information, worth it siya. Okay. And then last year, because of the pandemic, ang maganda, nabuhay ang Philippine print industry. Dumami yung mga online stores, no? I cannot mention the other publishing companies, but Vibal, I talked to Miss Rio and Tope, they're now actually found in Shopee, no? As well as in Lazada. I think, no, Tope, you're also in Lazada, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, okay. So Shopee and Lazada. Kaya I love Shopee. I actually love Shopee more. Baka naman Shopee, no? Just kidding. But I love Shopee, no, because I bought a lot of books there. Halos lahat ng mga university presses are located in Shopee. Vibal is there. Other local publishing companies are there as well. And ang maganda nun, meron sila mga offerings, no? May Aklatan Book Fair. And then, of course, last November and December, they had, meron rin yung Manila International Book Fair. So mga discounted, no? If you're familiar with MIBF, normally before nasa Philippine Trade Center, International Trade Center, no? But because of COVID, they changed it to an online platform. So hindi naman ako mahihiya, pero karamihan, most of the books that I bought, no, were discounted. So I just wait for the sale to happen. And it's also, aside from promoting it, it's also helping the local book industry. Nabubuhay sila eh. Yun lang yung medyo nasasad ako kasi I know Misay, no? Misay also is located in Cebu City. Walang masyadong access sa Filipiniana books sa Cebu. Meron rin yung mga museums, meron rin mga isang university press where I bought some of my Cebuano books directly from them. Pero hindi kagaya sa Manila na marami, no? You have the Popular Bookstore, you can go to the National Library, no? In Calao, in National Library, they sell books, not National Library, sorry, National Historical Commission, NHCP, they sell books that they print. Intramuros administration also sells books. And most of them are very affordable, even for students. Mga below 1,000 pesos. So if we can afford to buy mga Percy Jackson, Harry Potter books na kamahal-mahal, why not Philippine books? Diba? Marami siya. Just look for it sa Shopee, sa Lazada, online, mga university presses. They have Facebook pages rin. Join Filipiniana book clubs. Maraming Filipiniana book clubs in Facebook. That's actually where I got my yung mga contacts ko. Pero medyo naglaylo na ako ngayon kasi naubos yung budget ko for this year, no? Mga second quarter of the year pa lang, naubos na yung book budget ko. So sabi ko, hintayin ko na lang siguro yung mga mag-sale ang MIBF. Kasi Vibal, I know Vibal will join that, no? MIBF. Yan. So yung Manila International Book Fair. So sabi ko, I'll save for that para makabay pa ako ng more books, no? And then another one is, sige, let's look for another question. I hope, Miss Sai, I answered your question. Let's get something from Facebook siguro, no? From Facebook. Meron ditong question from Mr. Kit Santos. Kapag nag-feature po ba ng book sa YouTube or any platforms, need po bang munang humingi ng permission sa author before publishing? Yun ang, I think Tope, no? I don't know if you can answer this, but so far naman, yung mga ginagawa kong book review, kasi you put it under book review, you state your opinions and your personal opinions about the books. So, Kit, no, if it's okay if I call you Kit, you have to be careful of not reading the entire book material. Mga excerpts lang, excerpts are I think are acceptable. No, don't read the entire book. Don't read the entire chapter. And then always reference back, right? reference back to the publisher, to the author. Malalaman mo naman kung mali yung pag-upload mo kasi first is, pag sa YouTube, ang maganda sa YouTube, pag nag-upload ka, meron siyang isang page na sasabihin niya, copyright issues. Merong bang nag-report sa iyo na copyrighted yung material mo? Actually, doon mo malalaman. So, kung may nag-report, di ang gawin mo, you bring down the video, edit it, connect with the copyright, whoever posted the copyright issue, no? Ganun lang, ganun natin malalaman. So Facebook ngayon i-report ka, no? I-report tapos malalaman mo na lang. So may ang mga social media, no, I can only attest for Facebook and YouTube. They have their own copyright police. And you will know. And then, mawawarningan ka eh. Kaya, so far so good, knock on wood, wala pa naman akong copyrighted issue. So, Tope, let me know ha, baka may copyright na ako sa copyrighted issue sa Vibal with the videos that I'm posting. So far so good pa naman, no? Okay, thank you for that question that you have. I think let's see one more. I think I like this. Itong question na to very nice, no? From Miss Grace Parungao. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Sabi niya is, this talk is very timely because it gave me additional ideas on how I can improve my strategy in promoting my reading advocacy in line with our school-based brigade pagbasa as one of our programs for this year's Brigada Eskwela. Right? Okay, nice, no? And then Miss Grace, ang maganda rin is, I know some people rin, I know, I have a former coworker, her advocacy is ano nga to? Ang 10K libro or ang 10,000 libro. You can look for her in Facebook, ang 10K libro. I'm gonna write it down in the comment section. What she does is she collects books, no? Whether secondhand or new books, and then she donates it. She connects with schools, public schools, and she donates the books that she had. So I had the privilege of donating some of my books, no? Kasi nung umuwi ako sa Manila, and then I was looking at my books, sabi ko may some of books that I could share with other readers kasi medyo na-outgrown ko na siya. It's not na sa akin as meaningful as it can be. I said may use pa to for other readers. I donated it to her, and then she donated it also. She passed it on to others, no. I think she was able to donate currently sa Negros, and then also in Bantayan. So, I'm promoting your your advocacy of free of books, no, as well, free books. So yon, so very nice. And then Tupe, do we have more time for some more questions? Okay pa ba? Maybe one or two more pa, no? Let's see. Okay, may nag-comment na reviews are okay daw. Wag lang mag-spoil ng content. Tama. Kaya I don't do fiction books, ha. Mostly non-fiction ang ginagawa ko kasi wala namang kailangan i-spoil, no? Wala namang kailangan i-spoil sa non-fiction books. Okay. What else? Nako, marami tayong mga okay. Okay, yes. Okay. Maybe one more question. Let's see. I think I was ito si Miss Emma Manalili. She asked kung kailangan nga daw ng video editing skills. Miss Emma, ako, again, no, I'm not a very creative person. I learned lang by practice. Ganun naman po tayo, no? Try and try. Practice lang po by experience. Nag-experiment po ako. Yung mga videos po na pinopost ko sa YouTube ko, kahit 5 minutes po yan, ang editing ko po niya umaabot ng 1 oras o mahigit. Kasi trial and error, no? But again, ang maganda ngayon sa panahon na ngayon is marami tayong mga how-to, no? May mga videos na how to edit, how to use your editor. Yan, ginagawa ko. Nag-google lang ako or nag-YouTube. But experiential, no? Whether yung first nga po, cellphone lang ang gamit ko. Pag nag-edit ako, cellphone lang, sa app lang. Tapos, yun nga, yung medyo naging okay na yung laptop ko, sa yung laptop na built-in editor naman ang ginagamit ko. So, ano po talaga siya, pag you have to set enough time. Yun lang ang masasabi ko sa pag-create ng video, no? Kaya wag po nating maliliitin or wag po natin na uy, pangit naman ng video nito or kasi pinaghirapan po yan ng tao. Kahit 1 minute or 2 minutes po yan, hindi po natin alam na ilang beses sila nag-take, ilang beses yung panahon na ginugol nila para sa pag-edit ng video nila. Yun. Kaya natin, i-encourage natin kung maganda naman po yung kalalabasan, yung effect niya na po, let's encourage our young folks, no, to create those videos. And even for us, mga Gen Xers or older millennials, right? Or baby boomers po, ayan ha. You can create your own po. Ano po lang talaga yan? Interest. Ang masasabi ko is interest, if you're interested, and time. Those are some of the things na very important that you have to consider, time and your interest. And then maybe one last question that we can answer before we end our session. Let's check. Okay. So, I think this is maybe how I would end my session today, no? So from Rina Gonzalez, what inspired you to start your channel and who are your target audience po? Okay. So, first off is, my inspiration really is yung sharing of knowledge. As a trainer, no, na parang teacher na rin, that's something that I've been doing for the past 17 years, sharing of knowledge. That's very important to me. Second is, another is again, of course, my advocacy of reading. I want people to really read. Very important po. Reading is really part of learning. No? It helps develop our intellect, our smart, being smart. No? And then the third one that really inspired me is, sabi ko nga po is, I want to promote rin yung Philippine books. That's also my third inspiration to create the channel, is to promote Philippine books. So kahit mahirap siya, kahit walang nanonood, kaya subscribe po kayo ha, subscribe po kayo, walang nanonood, pero sabi ko, no, I will continue to do this. Kasi I know that kahit I reach out lang to one person, may ma-inspire ako, malaking bagay na yan sa akin. Because how would people get the information? How would people learn, no? But through this, pag may makita sila, may napanood sila, ma-inspire sila, they get the message that's being sent out. They understand it. Malaking bagay na yon. Okay? So, lastly, ano yung tips daw that I can share for starters? Yun lang po. Create lang kayo ng create. Don't overthink. Don't overthink. Create lang kayo. Make it a simple one lang. Kahit mga hi or hello. Yung mga first videos ko po, mga 1 minute or 2 minutes lang. Tapos humaba siya ng humaba kasi masarap magsalita I'm a very talkative person. Kaya sabi ko minsan na I have to lessen it kasi baka wala nang manood sa akin kasi mga 14 minutes or 15 minutes na yung video. So, pero yun yung I think my suggestion. Just create. Take the chance. I take the chance. Kasi, you'll never know if you like it unless you try it, di ba? So, I think that's how I'll end my session for today, everyone, no? Just take the chance. Create that interest. Don't be dissuaded, right? Talagang ano lang, just think about yung purpose nyo. What is my purpose in creating this channel or creating this video? And make that your inspiration. Okay? So I hope everyone that you enjoyed our time, and I hope that I was able to impart my knowledge of video or of book vlogging, and I've inspired some of you to maybe try it out and create your own channel. Okay. Again, I'd like to thank everyone, our viewers, our teachers and educators, and of course, thank you for Vibal for inviting me this afternoon. I really truly do appreciate your advocacy in promoting. And it's again, let's take this opportunity to really attend this session, these free sessions for our continuous learning. Right? So thank you. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Good afternoon.